The news was carried unto all the monarchs by their trusted spies that the handsome Draupadi had been united in marriage with the sons of Pandu, and they were informed that the illustrious hero who had bent the bow and shot the mark was none else than Arjuna, that foremost of victorious warriors and first of all wielders of the bow and arrows. And it became known that the mighty warrior who had dashed Salia, the king of Madras, on the ground, and who in wrath had terrified the assembled monarchs by means of the tree, who had taken his stand before all foes in perfect fearlessness, was none else than Bhishma, that fellow of hostile ranks, whose touch alone was sufficient to take the lives out of all fools. The monarch, upon being informed that the Pandavas had assumed the guise of peaceful Brahmanas, wondered much. They even heard that Kunti with all her sons had been burned to death in the conflagration of the house of Lak. They, therefore, now regarded the Pandavas in the light of persons who had come back from the region of the dead, and recollecting the cruel scheme contrived by Purokhana, they began to say, Fieon Bhisma, Fieon Dhritarashtra of the Kuru race. After the self-choice was over, all the monarchs, hearing that Draupadi had been united with the Pandavas, set out for their own dominions. And Duryodhana, hearing that Draupadi had selected the owner of white steeds as her lord, became greatly depressed, accompanied by his brothers, Aswatihaman, his uncle, Karna and Kripa. The prince set out with a heavy heart for his capital. Then Dusasana, blushing with shame, addressed his brother softly and said, If Arjuna had not disguised himself as a Brahmana, he could never have succeeded in obtaining Draupadi. It was for this disguise that no one could recognize him as the Dhananjaya. Fate, a win, is ever supreme. Exertion is fruitless. Fear on our exertions. The Pandavas are still alive, speaking unto one another thus and blaming Purokhana. They then entered the seat of Hastinapura with cheerless and sorrowful hearts, beholding the mighty sons of Pritha escaped from the burning house of Lak and allied with Drupada, and thinking of the Dhritarashtra and Sikhandi and the other sons of Drupada, all accomplished in fight, they were struck with fear and overcome with despair. Then Vidura, having learned that Draupadi had been won by the Pandavas and that the sons of the Dhritarashtra had come back in shame, their pride humiliated, became filled with joy, and approaching the Dhritarashtra, Kishatri said, The Kurus are prospering by good luck. Hearing those words of Vidura, the son of Vikhitravirya, wondering, said in great glee, What good luck, Vidura, what good luck! From ignorance, the blind monarch understood that his elder son Duryodhana had been chosen by Drupada doctor as her lord, and the king immediately ordered various ornaments to be made for Draupadi, and he commanded that both Draupadi and his son Duryodhana should be brought with pomp to Hastinapura. It was then that Vidura told the monarch that Draupadi had chosen the Pandavas for her lords, and that those heroes were all alive and at peace, and that they had been received with great respect by King Drupada. And he informed the Dhritarashtra that the Pandavas had been united with the many relatives and friends of Drupada, each owning large armies, and with many others who had come to that self-choice. Hearing these words of Vidura, the Dhritarashtra said, "Those children are to me, Kishatri, as dear as they were to Pandu. Listen to me why my affection for them now is even greater. The heroic sons of Pandu are well and at ease. They have obtained many friends. Their relatives and others whom they have gained as allies are all endowed with great strength. Who, Kishatri, amongst monarchs in prosperity or adversity, would not like to have Drupada with his relatives as an ally?" Having heard these words of the monarch, Vidura said, "Let thy understanding remaining so without change for 100 years." Having said this, Vidura returned to his own abode. Then there came unto Dhritarashtra Duryodhana and the son of Hadiha, Karna, addressing the monarch. They said, "We cannot speak of any transgression in the presence of Vidura. We have now found thee alone, and will therefore say all we like. What is this that thou hast desired to do? Dost thou regard the prosperity of thy foes as if it were thy own, that thou hast been applauding the Pandavas in the presence of Vidura? Sinless on thou actest not in the way thou showest. Father, we should now act every day in such a way as to weaken the Pandavas. The time hath come, Father, for us to take counsel together, so that the Pandavas may not swallow us all with our children and friends and relatives." Dhritarashtra replied, saying, "I desire to do exactly what you would recommend, but I do not wish to inform Vidura of it even by a change of muscle. It was, therefore, son, that I was applauding the Pandavas in Vidura presence, so that he might not know even by sign what is in mind. Now that Vidura hath gone away, this is the time, Suryodhana, for telling me what thou hast hit upon, and what, Hadiheya, thou too hast hit upon." Duryodhana said, "Let us, Father, by means of trusted and skillful and adroit Brahmanas, seek to produce dissensions between the sons of Kunti and Madri. Or let King Drupada and his sons and all his ministers of state be plied with presents of large wealth, so that they may abandon the cause of Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti. Or let our spies induce the Pandavas to settle in Drupada dominions, by describing to them separately the inconvenience of residing in Hastinapura, so that, separated from us, they may permanently settle in Panchala. Or let some clever spies full of resource, showing the seeds of dissension among the Pandavas, make them jealous of one another. Or let them incite Krishna against her husbands. She has many lords, and this will not present any difficulty. Or let some seek to make the Pandavas themselves dissatisfied with Krishna, in which case Krishna will be dissatisfied with them. Or let some clever spies, preparing thither, secretly compass the death of Bhimasena. Bhima is the strongest of them all. Relying upon Bhima alone, the Pandavas used to disregard us of old. Bhima is fierce and brave, and the refuge of the Pandavas. If he be slain, the others will be deprived of strength and energy. Deprived of Bhima, who is their sole refuge, they will no longer strive to regain their kingdom. Arjuna is invincibly in battle, if Bhima protecteth him from behind. Without Bhima, Arjuna is not equal to even a fourth part of Hadiheya. Indeed, the Pandavas, conscious of their own feebleness, without Bhima and of all strength, would not really strive to recover the kingdom. Or, if coming hither, they prove docile and obedient to us, we won't then seek to repress them according to the dictates of political science. Or we may tempt them by means of handsome girls, upon which the prince of Panchala will get annoyed with them. Or, Hadiheya, let messengers be dispatched to bring them hither, so that, when arrived, we may, through trusted agents, by some of the above methods, cause them to be slain. Strive, Father, to employ any of these methods that may appear to thee faultless. Time passeth before their confidence is King Drupada, that who amongst kings is established we may succeed to encounter them. But after their confidence have been established in Drupada, we are sure to fail. These, Father, are my views for the discomfiture of the Pandavas. Judge whether they be good or bad. What, Karna, dost thou think? Thus addressed by Duryodhana, Karna said, It doth not seem to me, Duryodhana, that thy reasoning is well founded. Perpetuator of the Kuru race, no method will succeed against the Pandavas. Brave prince, thou hast before, by various subtle means, striven to carry out thy wishes, but ever hast thou failed to slay thy foes. They were then living near thee. They were then unfledged and of tender years, but thou couldst not injure them then. They are now living at distance, grow up full-fledged. The sons of Kunti, thou of firm resolution, cannot now be injured by any subtle contrivance of thine. This is my opinion, as they are aided by the very fates, and as they are desirous of regaining their ancestral kingdom. We can never succeed in injuring them by any means in your power. It is impossible to create disunion amongst them. They can never be disunited who have outtaken to a common wife. Or can we succeed in estranging Krishna from the Pandavas by any spies of ours? She chose them as her lords when they were in adversity. Will she abandon them now that they are in prosperity? Besides, women always like to have many husbands. Krishna hath obtained her wish. She can never be estranged from the Pandavas. The king of Panchala is honest and virtuous. He is not avaricious. Even if we offer him our whole kingdom, he will not abandon the Pandavas. Drupada's son possesseth every accomplishment and is attached to the Pandavas. Therefore, I do not think that the Pandavas can now be injured of any subtle means in thy power. But amongst men, this is what is good and advisable for us now, to attack and smite them till they are exterminated. Let this course recommend itself to thee, as long as our party is strong and that of the king of the Panchala is weak. so long strike them without any scruple. Son of Gandhihari, as long as their innumerable vehicles and animals, friends and friendly tribes are not mustered together, continue to exhibit thy prowess. As long as the king of the Panchala, together with his sons, gifted with great prowess, set test not his heart upon fighting with us, so long exhibit thy prowess, and exert thy prowess before he of the Vrishni haste cometh with the Yadava host into the seat of Drupada, carrying everything before him to restore the Pandavas to their paternal kingdom, wealth, every article of enjoyment, kingdom. There is nothing that Krishna may not sacrifice for the sake of the Pandavas. The illustrious Bharata had acquired the whole earth by his prowess alone. Indra hath acquired sovereignty of the three worlds by prowess alone. Prowess is always applauded by the Kshatriyas. Above amongst Kshatriyas, prowess is the cardinal virtue of the brave. Let us, therefore, with our large arm, consisting of 4 kinds of forces, grind Drupada without loss of time, and bring hither the Pandavas. Indeed, the Pandavas are incapable of being discomfited by any policy of conciliation, of gift, of wealth and bribery, or of disunion. Vanquish them, therefore, by thy prowess, and vanquishing them by thy prowess, rule thou this with earth. I see not any other means by which we may accomplish our end. Hearing these words of Hadiheya, the Dhritarashtra, endowed with great strength, applauded him highly. The monarch then addressed him and said, Thou, son of Suta, art gifted with great wisdom and accomplished in arms. This speech, therefore, favoring the exhibition of prowess, suiteth thee well. Let Bhisma and Drona and Vidura and you too take counsel together and adopt that proposal which may lead to our benefit. Then King Dhritarashtra called unto him all those celebrated ministers and took counsel with them. Asked by Dhritarashtra to give his opinion, Bhisma replied, The Dhritarashtra, a quarrel with the Pandavas, is what I can never approve of. As thou art to me, so was Pandu without doubt. And the sons of Gandhihari are to me as those of Kunti. I should protect them as well as I should thy sons. The Pandavas are as much near to me as they are to Prince Duryodhana or to all the other Kurus. Under these circumstances, a quarrel with them is what I never like. Concluding a treaty with those heroes, let half the land be given unto them. This is, without doubt, the paternal kingdom of those foremost ones of the Kuru race. And Duryodhana, like thee, who lookest upon this kingdom as thy paternal property, the Pandavas look upon it as their paternal possession. If the renowned sons of Pandu obtaining not the kingdom, how can it be thine or that of any other descendant of the Bharata race? If thou regardest thyself as one that hath lawful come into the possession of the kingdom, I think they may be regarded to have lawful come into the possession of this kingdom before thee. Give them half the kingdom quietly. This, tiger among men, is beneficial to all. If thou actest otherwise, evil will befall us all. Thou too shalt be covered with dishonor. strive to maintain thy good name. A good name is indeed the source of all strength. It hath been said that one liveth in vain whose reputation hath gone. A man doth not die so long as his fame lasteth. One liveth as long as on fame endureth, and dieth when on fame is gone. Follow thou, son of Gandhihari, the praxis that is worthy of the Kuru race. Thou of might arms, imitate thy own ancestors. We are fortunate that the Pandavas have not perished. We are fortunate that Kunti liveth. We are fortunate that the rash Purokhana, without being able to accomplish his purpose, hath himself perished. From that time when I heard that the sons of Kunti Bhoja, doctor, had been burnt to death, I was, son of Gandhihari, ill able to meet and live in creatory. Tiger among men, hearing of the fate that overtook Kunti, the world doth not regard Purokhana so guilt as it regardeth thee. The escape, therefore, of the sons of Pandu with life from that conflagration, and their reappearance, do away with thy evil repute. Know thou of Kuru race, that, as long as those heroes live, the wielder of the thunder himself cannot deprive them of their ancestral share in the kingdom. The Pandavas are virtuous and united. They are being wrongly kept out of their equal share in the kingdom. If thou shouldst act rightly, if thou shouldst do what is agreeably to me, if thou shouldst seek the welfare of all, then give half the kingdom unto them. After Bhishma had concluded, Drona spoke, saying, King Dhritarashtra, it hath been heard by us that friends summoned for consultation should always speak what is right, true, and conducive to fame. Sire, I am of the same mind in this matter with the illustrious Bhishma. Let a share of the kingdom be given unto the Pandavas. This is eternal virtue. Send unto Drupada, without loss of time, some messenger of agreeably speech, carrying with him a large treasury for the Pandavas. And let the men go unto Drupada, carrying costly presents for both the bridegrooms and the bride. And let him speak unto that monarch of thy increase of power and dignity arising from this new alliance with him. And let the men know that both thyself and Duryodhana have become exceedingly glad in consequence of what hath happened. Let him say this repeatedly unto Drupada and Dhristadyumna, and let him speak about the alliance as having been exceedingly proper and agreeably unto thee, and of thyself being worthy of it. And let the men repeatedly propitiate the sons of Kunti and those of Madri. And at thy command, let plenty of ornaments of pure gold be given unto Draupadi, and let proper presents be given unto all the sons of Drupada. Let the messenger then propose the return of the Pandavas to Hastinapura. After the heroes will have been permitted to come hither, let Dusasana and Vikarna go out with a handsome train to receive them. And when they will have arrived at Hastinapura, let those foremost of men be received with affection by thee. And let them then be installed on their paternal throne, agreeably to the wishes of the people of the realm. This is what I think should be thy behavior towards the Pandavas, who are to thee even as thy own sons. After Drona had ceased, Karna spake again. Both Bhishma and Drona have been pampered with wealth that is thine, and favors conferred by thee. They are always regarded by thee as thy trusted friends. What can therefore be more amusing than that they both should give thee advice which is not for thy good? How can the wise approve that advice which is pronounced good by a person speaking with wicked intent, taking care to conceal the wickedness of his heart? Indeed, in a season of distress, friends can neither benefit or injure. Everyone's happiness or the reverse dependeth on destiny. He that is wise and he that is foolish, he that is young and he that is old, he that hath allies and he that hath none, are become, it is seen everywhere, happy or unhappy at times. It hath been heard by us that there was of old a king by name Amvubikha, having his capital at Rajagiriha. He was the king of all the Magdha chiefs. He never attended to his affairs. All his exertion consisted in inhaling the air. All his affairs were in the hands of his minister, and his minister, named Mahakarni, became the supreme authority in the state. Regarding himself all powerful, he began to disregard the king, and the wretch himself appropriated everything belonging unto the king, his queens and treasuries and sovereignty. The possession of all these, instead of satisfying his avarice, only served to inflame him the more. Having appropriated everything belonging to the king, he even coveted the throne. It hath been heard by us that, with all his best endeavors, he succeeded not in acquiring the kingdom of the monarch. His master, even Tog, the leader, was inattentive to business and content with only breathing the air. What else can be said than that monarch's sovereignty was dependent on destiny? If therefore this kingdom be established in thee by destiny, it will certainly continue in thee, even if the whole world were to become thy enemy. If, however, destiny hath ordained otherwise, howsoever mayest thou strive, it will not last in thee. Learned on, remembering all these, judge of the honest or otherwise of thy advisers. Ascertain who amongst them are wicked, and who have spoken wisely and well. Hearing these words of Karna, Drona replied, As thou art wicked, it is evident thou sayest so in consequence of the wickedness of thy intent. It is for injuring the Pandavas that thou findest fault with us. No, Karna, what I have said is for the good of all and the prosperity of the Kuru race. If thou regardest all these as productive of evil, declare thyself what is for our good. If the good advice I have given be not followed, I think the Kurus will be exterminated in no time. After Drona had ceased, Vidura spoke, saying, Monarch, thy friends without doubt are saying unto thee what is for thy good. As thou art unwilling to listen to what they say, their words scarcely find a place in thy ears. What that foremost on of Kuru race, Bhishma, the son of Santanu, have said, is excellent and is for thy good. thou dost not listen to it. The preceptor Drona have said much that is for thy good, which, however, Karna, the son of Hadha, doth not regard to be such. Reflecting hard, I do not find anyone who is better friend to thee than either of these two lions among men, or anyone who excels either of them in wisdom. These two, old in years, in wisdom, and in learning, always regard thee, and the sons of Pandu with equal eyes. Without doubt, they are both in virtue and truthfulness not inferior to Rama, the son of Dasahatiha, and Gaya. Never before did they give thee an evil advice. Thou hast never done them an injury. Why should, therefore, these tigers among men, who are ever truthful, give thee wicked advice, especially when thou hast never injured them? And with wisdom, these foremost of men will never give thee counsels that are crooked. Sion of Kuru haste, this is my firm conviction, that these two, as they acquainted are with our rules of morality, will never tempted by wealth, utter anything betraying a spirit of partisanship. What they have said, I regard highly beneficial to thee. Without doubt, the Pandavas are thy sons, as much as Duryodhana and others are. Those ministers, therefore, that give thee in counsel, fraught with evil unto the Pandavas, do not really look to thy interests. If there is any partiality in thy heart for thy own children, they who by their counsel seek to bring it out certainly do thee no good. Therefore, these illustrious persons, endowed with great splendor, have not, I think, said anything that leadeth to evil. Thou, however, dost not understand it. What these bulls among men have said regarding the invincibility of the Pandavas is perfectly true. Think not otherwise of it. Tiger among men, blessed be thou. Can the handsome Dhananjaya, the son of Pandu, using the right and the left hand with equal activity, be vanquished in battle even by Magiravat himself? Can the great Bhishmasena of strong arms, possessing the might of 10,000 elephants, be vanquished in battle by the immortals themselves? Who that desireth to live can overcome in battle the twins, like unto the sons of Yama himself, and well skilled in fight? How too can the heirs on of the Pandavas, in whom patience, mercy, forgiveness, truth, and prowess always live together, be vanquished? They who have Rama as their ally, and Janardana as their counselor, and Satyaki as their partisan, whom have they not already defeated in war? They who have Drupada for their father-in-law, and Drupada's sons, the heroic brothers, the Hirishaliumna, and others of Prishata race for their brothers-in-law, are certainly invincible. Remembering these, and knowing that their claim to the kingdom is even prior to thine, behave virtuously towards them. The stain of calumny is on thee. In consequence of that act of Purokhana, wash thyself of it now by kindly behavior towards the Pandavas. This kindly behavior of thine towards the Pandavas will be an act of great benefit to us, protecting the lives of us all that belong to Kuru race, and leading to the growth of the unwhole Kshatriya order. We had formerly warred with King Drupada. If we can now secure him as an ally, it will strengthen our party. The Darsahas are numerous and strong. Know where Krishna is. All of them must be, and where Krishna is, there victory must be. Who, unless cursed by the gods, won't seek to effect that by means of war, which can be effected by conciliation. Hearing that the sons of Pritha are alive, the citizens and other subjects of the realm have become exceedingly glad and eager for beholding them. Act in a way that is agreeable to them. Duryodhana and Karna and Sakuni, the son of Suvala, are sinful, foolish, and young. Listen not to them, possessed of every virtue as thou art. I long ago told thee that, for Duryodhana thought, the subjects of this kingdom would be exterminated. Hearing these various speeches, the Dhritarashtra said, the learned Bhishma, the son of Santanu, and the illustrious Rishdrona, and thyself have said the truth in what is most beneficial to me. Indeed, as those might cow warriors, the heroic sons of Kunti are the children of Pandu, so are they, without doubt, my children according to the ordinance. And as my sons are entitled to this kingdom, so are the sons of Pandu certainly entitled to it. Therefore, bring hither the Pandavas along with their mother, treating them with affectionate consideration. Bring Krishna of celestial beauty along with them. From sheer good fortune the sons of Pritha are alive, and from good fortune alone those might cow warriors have obtained the doctor of Drupada. It is from good fortune alone that our strength hath increased, and it is from good fortune alone that Purokhana hath perished. Thou of great splendor, it is from good fortune that my great grief hath been killed. Then Vidura, at the command of Dhritarashtra, hurried unto Yajnasena and the Pandavas, and he hurried thither, carrying with him numerous Jews and various kinds of wealth for Draupadi and the Pandavas and Yajnasena. Arrived at Drupada abode, Vidura, conversant with every rule of morality and deep in every science, properly accosted the monarch and waited upon him. Drupada received Vidura in proper form, and they both inquired after each other's welfare. Vidura then saw there the Pandavas and Vasudeva. As soon as he saw them, he embraced them from affection, and inquired after their well-being. The Pandavas, along with Vasudeva, in due order, worshipped Vidura of immeasurable intelligence. Vidura, in the name of Dhritarashtra, repeatedly inquired with great affection after their welfare. He then gave unto the Pandavas and Kunti and Draupadi, and unto Drupada and Drupada's sons the gems and various kinds of wealth that the Kauravas had sent through him. Possessed of immeasurable intelligence, the modest Vidura then, in the presence of the Pandavas and Keshava, addressed the well-behaved Drupada thus: with thy ministers and sons, listen to what I say. King Dhritarashtra, with ministers, sons, and friends, hath with a joyous heart repeatedly inquired after thy welfare. He hath been highly pleased with this alliance with thee. Bhishma, of great wisdom, the son of Santanu, with all the Kurus, inquired after the welfare in every respect. Drona of great wisdom, the son of Viharadivaja, and thy dear friend, embracing thee mentally, encouraged of thy happiness. And king of Panchala, Dhritarashtra, and all the Kurus, in consequence of this alliance with thee, regard themselves supremely blessed. Yajnasena, the establishment of this alliance with thee hath made them happier than if they had acquired a new kingdom. Knowing all this, permit the Pandavas to revisit their ancestral kingdom. The Kurus are exceedingly eager to behold the sons of Pandu. These bulls among men have been long absent. They, as well as Pritha, must be very eager to behold their city. And all the Kuru ladies and the citizens and all subjects are eagerly waiting to behold Krishna, the Panchala prince. This, therefore, is my opinion, that thou shouldst, without delay, permit the Pandavas to go thither with their wife, and after the illustrious Pandavas will have received thy permission to go thither, I shall send information unto Dhritarashtra by quick messengers. Then will the Pandavas set out with Kunti and Krishna. Hearing these words of Vidura, Drupada said, It is even so as thou, Vidura, of great wisdom, hast said. Venerably on, I too have been exceedingly happy in consequence of this alliance. It is highly proper that this illustrious prince should return to their ancestral kingdom. It is not proper for me to say this myself. If the brave son of Kunti, Yudhishthira, if Bhishma and Arjuna, if these bull among men, the twins themselves, desire to go, and if Rama and Krishna, both acquainted with every rule of morality, be of the same mind, then let the Pandavas go thither. For these tigers among men are ever engaged in doing what is agreeably and beneficial to the sons of Pandu. Hearing this, Yudhishthira said, We are now, with our younger brothers, dependent on thee. We shall cheerfully do what thou art pleased to command. Then Vasudeva said, I am of opinion that the Pandavas should go, but we should all abide by the opinion of King Drupada, who is conversant with every rule of morality. Drupada then spoke. I certainly agree with that this foremost of men, the heroic Dasahatha, of strong arms, thinketh, having regard to the circumstances. For the illustrious sons of Pandu now are to me as they are, without doubt, to Vasudeva. Kunti's son Yudhishthira himself doth not seek the welfare of the Pandavas so earnestly as Kesava, the tiger among men. Commanded by the illustrious Drupada, the Pandavas then, and Krishna and Vidura, taking with them Krishna, the doctor of Drupada, and the renowned Kunti, journeyed towards the seat called after the elephant, stopping at various places along the way for purposes of pleasure and enjoyment. King Dhritarashtra, hearing that those heroes had neared the capital, sent out the Kauravas to receive them. They who were thus sent out were Vikarna of the great bow, and Hitarasena, and Drona, that foremost of warriors, and Kripa of Gautama line. Surrounded by these, those mighty heroes, their splendor enhanced by that throng, slowly entered the seat of Hastinapura. The whole seat became radiant, as it were, with the gay throng of sightseers, animated by curiosity. Those tigers among men gladdened the hearts of all who beheld them, and the Pandavas did unto the hearts of the people, heard as they proceeded, various exclamations which the citizens, ever desirous of obeying the wishes of those princes, loudly uttered. Some exclaimed, "He hath turned that tide among men conversant with all the rules of morality, and who always protect us as if we were his nearest relatives." And elsewhere the same said, "It seems that King Pandu, the beloved of his people, returneth today from the forest, doubtless to do what is agreeably to us." And there were some that said, "What good is not done to us today when the heroic sons of Kunti come back to our town? If we have ever given away in charity, if we have ever poured libations of clarified butter on the fire, if we have in ascetic merit, let the Pandavas, by virtue of all those acts, stay in our town for 100 years. At last the Pandavas, on arriving at the place, worshipped the feet of Dhritarashtra, as also those of the illustrious Bhishma. They worshipped the feet of everybody else that deserved that honor, and they inquired after the welfare of every citizen. At last, at the command of Dhritarashtra, they entered the chamber that had been assigned to them. After they had rested there for some time, they were summoned by King Dhritarashtra and Bhishma, the son of Santanu. When they came, King Dhritarashtra, addressing Yudhishthira, said, "Listen, son of Kunti, with thy brothers, to what I say. Hyper ye tu Kihandava prastiha, so that no difference may arise again. If you take up your quarters there, no one will be able to do you an injury, protected by Partiha. Like the celestials by the thunderbolt, reside ye at Kihandava prastiha, taking half the kingdom." Agreeing to what Dhritarashtra said, those bulls among men worshipping the king set out from Hastinapura, and content with half the kingdom, they removed to Kihandava prastiha, which was an reclaimed desert. Then those heroes of unfading splendor, the Pandavas, with Krishna at their head, arriving there, beautified the place and made it a second heaven. And those might-cow warriors, selecting with divine Payana assistance a sacred and auspicious region, performed certain propitiatory ceremonies and measured out a piece of land for their seat. Then, surrounded by trenches wide as the sea, and by walls reaching high up to the heavens, and white as the flames clouds or the rings of the moon, that foremost of cities looked resplendent like Vihogavati, decked with the Nagas, and it stood adorned with palatial mansions and numerous gates, each furnished with a couple of panels, resembling the outstretched wings of Garuda. And it was protected with gateways looking like the clouds and high as the Mandara mountains, and well furnished with numerous weapons of attack. The missiles of the foes could not make the slightest impression on them, and they were almost covered with darts and other missiles like doubly-tongued snakes. The turrets along the walls were filled with armed men in course of training, and the walls were lined with numerous warriors along their whole length. And there were thousands of sharp hooks and sataginis, and numerous other machines on the battlements. There were large iron wells planted on them, and with all these was that foremost of cities adorned. The streets were all wide and laid out excellent, and there was no fear in them of accident. and decked with innumerable mansions. The seat became like unto Amaravati, and came to be called Indraprastha. In a delightful and auspicious part of the seat rose the palace of the Pandavas, filled with every kind of wealth, and like unto the mansion of the celestial treasurer himself. And it looked like a mass of clouds charged with lightning. When the seat was built, there came numerous Brahmanas well acquainted with all the Vedas and conversant with every language, wishing to dwell there. And there came unto that town numerous merchants from every direction, in the hope of earning wealth. There came numerous persons well skilled in all the arts, wishing to take up their abode there. And around the seat were laid out many delightful gardens, adorned with numerous trees, bearing both fruits and flowers. There were amras and amaratakas and kadamvas and asokas and hampakas and punagas and nagas and lakukhas and panasas and salas and talas and tamalas, vakulas, ketakas with their fragrant lords, beautiful and blossoming and grand amalakas, with branches bent down with the weight of fruits, and lodiras, and blossoming ancolas, and jambus, and patalas, kunjakas, and atimukitas, caraviras, parijatas, and numerous other kinds of trees, always adorned with flowers and fruits, and alive with feathery creatures of various species. And those verdant groves always resounded with the notes of meddenet, peacocks, and coquillas. And there were various pleasure houses, bright as mirrors, and numerous bowers of creepers, and charming and artificial hillocks, and many lakes full to the brim of crystal water, and delightful tanks fragrant with lotuses and lilies, and adorned with swans and ducks and cravakas. And there were many delicious pools overgrown with fine aquatic plants, and there were diverse ponds of great beauty and large dimensions. The joy of the Pandavas increased from day to day in consequence of their residence in that large kingdom that was peopled with pious men. Thus, in consequence of the virtuous behavior of Bhishma and King Dhritarashtra towards them, the Pandavas took up their abode in Prastha, adorned with those 5 mighty warriors, each equal unto Indra himself. That foremost of cities looked like Viduragamana, adorned with the Nagas. Having settled the Pandavas there, the heroic Krishna, obtaining their leave, came back with Rama to Dvaravati.